Ministry of Tourism Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat portal. So my advice to all the viewers is that please visit Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat portal and see what all the activities is done by all the IHMs, not only IHM Gwalior, but all the IHMs. So my humble request to all the viewers is that the purpose of this is that Madhya Pradesh is paired with two northeastern states, that is Manipur and Nagaland. So our student had visited in the month of March, just before COVID, and they have spent a lot of activities by interacting with the public over there. So I wish if everything permits well and good, maybe when you will be joining offline, maybe there will be again this Ek Bharat Shresth Bharat activity in which we will select the students and staff from IHM Gwalior to visit the northeastern states and to stay at least for one fortnight. So dear students, so the purpose of this is that we want to be associated with the shared state of northeastern part of our country, that is Manipur and Nagaland. Madhya Pradesh is such a big state, and these two states are very far away but too small. But our purpose is that in terms of their culture, in terms of their cuisine, in terms of their activities, in terms of their festival, fairs, and many aspects, we are learning from their keynote speakers. And also, last time, if you remember, we had exposed about Orcha. So this time, we want to know the feasts and festivals of these northeastern states. These northeastern states are really very vibrant in terms of its activities. So we want to know, because it is very difficult to visit there at present. So only possible way is that by webinars, we can able to learn some of the activities in terms of, for the today's purposes, the topic is that feasts and festivals. Actually, there are a lot many festivals celebrated in our states here, Madhya Pradesh, also in the paired states of Nagaland and Manipur. So we are trying to cover up many aspects through these webinars for enhancement of knowledge, to know each other, to be very closer to each other. So that is the only purpose behind it. So in this case, we learn many things from them and they also learn many things from us. So dear students, so for today's webinars, the keynote speaker is there. So I request the keynote speaker to elaborate, we describe about the fairs and festivals in the state of Nagaland. So I hope it will be a good learning experience for all the students. Thank you so much. And we will be doing till 31st October many webinars. We will want to try to incorporate all the students because you are all freshers. So please join so that when you will be coming here offline, maybe some activities will be again stored for you in the name of Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please continue.
Thank you, sir. So on this holy occasion of the festivals of Nagaland, Feasts of Nagaland, I would like to congratulate all our participants, specifically those who have joined from the session of first semester. This will be our first-handed experience as a joiner on the this virtual platform. And this is such a webinar from where you can gain a lot of knowledge in terms of northeastern states. So today's theme or today's lesson is on the feasts and festivals of Nagaland. So in this regard, until and unless our keynote speaker, Dr. Nizo Puro, he is an assistant professor in Nagaland University. He will be joining soon. So before that, to start with the session, I will have some inputs before you, and I would like to present a little description regarding this, like what is Nagaland and where is Nagaland. So by this time, everybody might be knowing where the Nagaland state is situated. Many of us, they are confused where the state is situated. But frankly speaking, Nagaland is such a place which is very much beautiful, and you will like feel like not leaving the place if you visit there. Myself, I have not gone up to Nagaland, but I have gone up to Assam, I have gone up to Mizoram. Still in that particular state, I have had a lot of like experience regarding Nagaland. Nagaland geographical location and people. Nagaland is blessed with the natural beauty of hills and greenery. This is one of the sister states of the northeastern part of India. Nagaland has got 16 tribes. They're very good hunters. Prime occupation is irrigation. The food is same as it has been for ages. Less changes took place in their food. Okay, this is the state where the change has not taken place very much. However, they have learned to use spices in the latter stage. The food habits and the staple diet of the Nagaland, each tribe has separate recipes which are interchanged occasionally. There are 16 tribes which are very much famous. As far as the meat is concerned, beef, pork, fish, chicken, crab, snail, etc. are smoked, dried, and fermented form are eaten. Animal blood, it is another thing which is eaten or drunk, that is solidified, cut into pieces, and added to curries. As far as the vegetables are concerned, bamboo shoots, lettuce, soybean, mustard leaves, yam leaves. These are the vegetables which are very common. The staple food in Nagaland is rice, which is commonly eaten with the meat, vegetables, dal, chutney, which is locally called tathu. Meat is a wild animal. Meat of the wild animal is a delicacy for them. To have a quick look through the Nagaland, like other activities, different varieties of chilies and seasonings are used in their cuisine. Leaves of garlic and like ginger are used. Vegetables are boiled, not fried. It's unlike the mainland of India. Then recipes are interchanged among the tribes. Meats are smoked, dried, and fermented. It's totally different. Varieties of herbs and exotic plants are used, and they believe in certain things like stonebird, dog, frog, earthworm can cure diseases. I don't have much idea regarding that, but after Dr. Puro joins, we will have his contribution towards this webinar, how the festivals are like celebrated over there. But few things are very much important to know regarding Nagaland. So we are just having a picture of a number of chilies. We must be like surprised to know that Nagaland has got a chili which is 400 times hotter than the normal chili which is available in the mainland of India, and that has got a place in the Guinness World Book. Okay, that is called king chili. Apart from that, this Naga chili, this is also called Bhut Jolokia. Okay, Bhut Jolokia is the same chili which is the hottest chili in the world, and it has got its 400 times hotter than the normal chili, and it has got a place in the Guinness World Book. Nagaland has got a lot of dishes. Like I will tell you a little bit dishes which are forming a place in the feast. That is fermented bamboo shoot, which is a tender shoot, fish, and pork preparation. As you can see, the picture on the right hand side. Then we have got axom. Axom is a soybean fermented dish, which is made by using pork and beef. But pork and beef, these are smoked before the preparation. Then they have got smoked meat. Like we have the fried meat, we have the tandoor cooked meat, we have the other formations of meat. But in Nagaland, the meat is smoked, and they're made by keeping the meat hanging on the fire for few hours. Then anishi. Anishi is a fermented yam leaves. It's a vegetarian dish, vegetarian item, I will say. It is made into patties. You can see on the right hand side the cake form that is violet color, and on the right hand side the normal form which is geographically grown leaves form that is there. The patty is this one. This patty is smoked over fire. That is very famous in Nagaland. Red meat chutney. This is a famous chutney. Like we people are having like aam ki chutney, then like lasun ki chutney, etc. But they're having red meat chutney. It's a non-veg chutney. Red meat is shredded, and king chili, that is the hottest chili, is added. Garlic, green onion is added, and then the meat chili is used, which is a beautiful pickle, which is they're having in Nagaland. As far as the drink is concerned, rice beer, which is a traditional drink in Nagaland, which is very much consumed. Other drinks are Zutho, Zutse, and Ruhi. These are the few drinks. which you will like read about them in the next course of time in IHM also. But if you go to Nagaland, they have got these are the drinks they have got. As far as the dishes are concerned, the sweet, they're not very much fond of the sweets. They have got kot pitha. It's a kind of sweet. It's a kind of sweet pakoda. It's fried pakoda made with ripe banana and rice flour. Okay, this is the only sweet, or maybe a little bit like other formations are there, but sweets are not very famous in Nagaland as far as my knowledge goes. Chicken is very common. Chicken gruel, that is chicken cooked with the bamboo shoot. You can see on the right hand side the color of the chicken that is there. It's light green color. It's a stew sort of preparation. Then rosep aon. It is a local vegetable cooked in bamboo shoot. Again, I'm telling you, bamboo shoot is very much common in Nagaland. Relishing it like anything, which is very much uncommon in the mainland of India. Apart from that, we have got akhuni. Akhuni is a preparation of soya bean, which is like made with the fermented fish and the pork. That is like it's a kind of preparation which is again non-veg. Then we have got machpura. Machpura is we are having like roasted fish or the tandoori fish. It has got a similar like sort of preparation sort of look also, but they burn the fish in the like in normal way and roast the fish in open fire, and they enjoy it like anything. Then we have got bamboo steamed fish. It's a totally different preparation which you are seeing. Like the bamboo pieces are cut into two pieces. That is vertical cut is there. Then within the bamboo pieces, they arrange the fish pieces which are marinated along with the local spices, local herbs, and that is cooked in smoke. And the bamboo flavor is very much added in the fish, and it gives a unique preparation in the land of Nagaland. Then, as far as the other dishes are concerned, we have got pumpkin ambal, a delicacy made of pumpkin. Galho, it's a kind of khichdi in Nagaland, Naga style. Apart from that, there are many like hinkezvu. It's made of mustard leaves. Okay, so there are like endless. There are a lot of things. So I have got in my like custody. Like one more thing is there, which is a Naga like deep fried puri sort of thing that is called kemenia roti. Like we like call it in the mainland, that is the Indian bread. But as far as the Indian bread is concerned, this is very famous kemenia roti. That is deep fried bread made of rice flour. There are many like dishes. Apart from, I will not go into that, but little bit of description regarding the herbs is needed. Herbs are well grown in the backyard of Nagaland. That is like the backside of the houses, and you can see the herbs which are there available on the picture. They add to the flavor of the dishes, and they have got a medicinal value also. Like if they use the herb, they are supposed to be cured of many of the illnesses. So I have given you few examples of Naga herbs which are not like generally available in the mainland of India, but in their places it's very very common, and they have got a curable like capacity as far as the Naga like diseases are concerned. So I right now I will like hand over the platform to Mr. Narendra Singh Lodhi to take his part and to give some input regarding the Naga feast and festival. That was my side was Naga food little bit. Okay, Mr. Narendra, over to the scene please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you, Das sir, for giving this opportunity to celebrate this event. That's Fest of Naga. Basically, sir, lots of things he covered, and I would like to just elaborate something like about the festival of the Nagaland. And one of the best fact of the Nagaland, I would like to tell you that's Kachari ruins or the Dimas Kachari is a ruins is the located in the town of the Dimapur in the Nagaland. That's a ruins are the series of the that's a series of the mushroom domed pillar that's be created by the Dimas Kachari kingdom that's ruled before the Ahom invasion during the 13th century. So there's some pillars. It uh, look like a mushroom. Okay, it's a dome shaped mushroom, and that's basically a very good fact in the Nagaland. And sir, talk about the chili. That chili is basically that's a very hottest chili in the planet, and that is sir talk about this 400 times spices, and that's we use tobacco sauce. And that's one of the very famous festival which we celebrate in the Nagaland. Nagaland, basically we celebrate the Hornbill Festival. That is the India's very popular festival in the northeast side. And there's you can see in the that's Hornbill Festival that culture, logo, food festival, and music as well. The some of the facts I would like to just tell about the Nagaland. Nagaland is the one of the seven northeast states, and it's located on India's farthest east side. The state is flanked by the Myanmar in the east, Arunachal Pradesh in the north, Assam in the west, and Manipur in the south. The state has considered the source of natural minerals, that petroleum and hydropower. It's an exploited reserve of around 600 million metric tons of the crude oil and more than 20 million ton of the hydrocarbon. And moreover, the state has 315 million ton of the coal reserve and 1038 million ton of the limestone reserve. So it's a very good things to know about the Nagaland, because there's a very good source of these things. And if we'll talk about the climate, the climatic condition is the Nagaland provide the commercial as a opportunity of the floriculture and horticulture. Basically, this Nagaland is a fully of the hilly state. So the state has a 650 indigenous and species of the medicinal and aromatic plants. The state has eliminated to have the potential to produce the 15 million ton of the honey, 100 million ton of the wax, and which together could generate around 100 million US dollar annually. And moreover, the production of the honey during 2018 to 2019 was the recorded to be a 70 metric tons. So this is very good information if we'll know about the Nagaland. There's a lots of source to get the most of things. That's like a wax, honey, and if we'll talk about the bamboo is found extensively in Nagaland, which is a bamboo growing in stock covering nearly stocks are covering nearly 5% of the total stock in the country. As of the 2018, Nagaland had 46 species of bamboo. Production of the raw silk in the state and Nagaland stood at around 620 million ton in 2018 to 2019 and 558 million ton in 2019 to 2020. As of March 2020, Nagaland had a total installed power generation capacity of 174.53 megawatt, of which is 142.86 megawatt was under the central sector, 30.67 megawatt was under state utilities and private sector. Accounted for the 1.00 megawatt of the total installed power generation capacities. 81 megawatt was contributed by the thermal, 61.83 megawatt by hydro, and 31.67 megawatt by the new available energy. Total export from the state stood at the $2.78 million during the 2018 to 2019. So we know that about the Nagaland, that's how much the production of the capacity of the electricity that they are producing, so they are just exporting that. The state provide installation support through the various central and state government agencies with Northeast Council Ministry of the Development and Northeast Region and Nagaland Industrial Development Council. So these are basically the good fact to know about the Nagaland. And according to basically, if we'll talk about the key sector of the Nagaland, Nagaland promotes the bamboo processing as the enterprises covering various applications such as a food-based, medicinal uses, handicrafts, arts, tiles, flooring, and Nagaland Bamboo Development Agency is the nodal office that coordinates with other offices for all bamboo related research, development, and business application. So Nagaland has the suitable climate for the agriculture and horticulture produces. It's a support the multiple crops wise. बेसिकली अगर क्रॉप्स की बात करें तो यहाँ पे बहुत सारी क्रॉप्स जैसे नॉर्मल है राइस माइस मिले ग्राम्स मस्टर्ड बीन सुगर कैन रबर टी banana pineapple orange jackfruits pears plums passion fruits lychee, mango, lemon, sweet lime, sweet potato, tobacco, and tomatoes, peas, chili, ginger, garlic, and cardamom. So these are the good source to they can cultivate their in the as a agriculture in a agriculture field. Okay, so the now we'll talk about the little bit Naga origin. The Nagas inhabits for the four states in India, and it is the western part of the Myanmar. The Naga live between the Brahmaputra and Chindamani River. In India, they are found in Nagaland, four districts in Myanmar, one district in Assam, and two districts in Arunachal Pradesh. In addition to the this many Nagas habits in the western part of the Myanmar, Burma. Geographical part, the habits of the Nagas is the chilly and is a hilly and mountain area. Basically, the general climate of the Nagaland is the monsoon climate with the high humidity level. The hot and humid condition and mild winter provide a continuous environment for the growth and development of the large variety of the flora and fauna. जैसे और बाकी का जो सर ने बात किया फूड के बारे में मैं ज्यादा बात नहीं करना चाहूंगा सर ने बहुत अच्छे से फूड के बारे में जो बताया है पोक वगैरह जो भी वहाँ पे यूज होते हैं क्लॉथिंग के बारे में मैं बात आई वुड लाइक टू टॉक अबाउट द लिटिल बिट क्लॉथिंग एज वेल द वुमेन mainly opt for the plain blue cloth and white cloth with black marginal bands. The Naga men's dress in the length which is consist of the narrow pieces of blue or white cloth, some 4 feet long and 25 centimeters is the broad. Basically, the very short in the from the down and it's open basically from on top. And occupation, we will talk about the basically the good source of the bamboo. So there's a lots of varieties of the arts can create by the bamboo and making of the basket and sieving of the cloths, wood carving and poetry and metal work, jewelry making with and bead work. Basically, from the bamboo, that's a good source now for the tiles. That's a wooden flooring is mostly covered with the with bamboo, and that's a good source for from the from made with full of the like bamboo. They mostly use houses are made with the wood and a straw, and these are the ornately
Sir, voice is not
carved
clear.
and arranged. They have a unique way of the constructing their huts. They decorate the entrance with their head of the buffalo. So they decorate basically head of the buffalo on the front of the
Good
house.
evening, sir.
Customs basically the Naga tribes practiced head hunting and preserve the head of the enemies as trophies. Folk dance of the Naga show the vibrant and dynamic culture tradition. Folk music of Naga is the based on the features like religious beliefs, romance, or bravery. So this was the basically custom and all religions and everything. So now I would like to talk about the festivals. The festivals which is very famous in Nagaland, that is called Hornbill Festival. The Hornbill Festival is the scheduled in the first week of the December. That is from the December 1st to 7th, and scheduled designed to evenly distributed fascinating programs and throughout the week, which means that there isn't a single boring day there. The festival is uh, organized at the Kisma village. This is the village name is a Kisma, which is located at the distance of 10 kilometers from the state of capital Kohima. The Kohima is the capital of the Nagaland. And the celebration, the festival is the grandest, most colorful and sparkling carnival in like whole of the Northeast India. It has something or other in its every human being. Travelers don't need to the excuse to soak in a new experience, which Hornbill is something you just cannot help falling in love with. No matter how experienced a traveler you are. Let's see what all the festivals have to offer to the different kind of people we come from the across every day in a 7 days how they celebrate the Hornbill festival. That's we if we'll visit there, then only we'll know about that festival. Basically, this festival is a very famous festival in the northeast India in Nagaland. The sportsmen and the activities participator, there are so many who love to be a part of the whatever comes their way. These are the one who were born to the participate and pump life into the various activities and celebrate the held across the globe. The festival has example scope of this authentic shawl, and you could see more awesome ingredients, wrestling and matches held there. And the best part of the you can even participate in the pork and chili eating contest there. So there's a sportsman or participation, basically the other sports or other participants. Apart from that, there's a one part of the eating the foods or eating the chilies. That's also the part of the festival. So they celebrate that. So remember, you are the most welcome to the drive your entire share of the fun from the watching these activities. But do remember to have the fire extinguisher nearby should you decided to participate in the chili eating competition. Basically, the chili is so talk about that 400 times is spicy. The tobacco sauce, basically, those who know about the tobacco sauce is a very spicy sauce, basically. So we can just imagine about the chili. Yeah, and the music and dance lovers, the grand spectacle of the various tribes performing their traditional dance to their ancient tunes and should never be the missed. There is a time allotted to each tribes and various other tribes for the other state also take perform in this fashion. The festival those become a grand platform for the showing and showcasing the fabulous diversity of the tenderness and the unity among all the northeastern tribes. The performance are held at their areas. Yeah, so there's a it's not a bounded that's from other state cannot participate in that. There's anyone can go there and they want to participate in music and dance, then they can participate there. They can parts in the they can take part in the that festival. And this is all about the music and dance festival lovers. If we talk about more about the dance festival, that lastly the food stock of the Northeast India, the fantastic Hornbill National Rock Concert, you will get the see some of the snatchest and performance here, rock band and participate in the event from all over the nation. There is a big prize money and
I think there is a
will you
connectivity issue.
on
Yes,
any
Mr.
mode
Nilendra.
because this will remain with you forever. So this was all about the festival which is celebrated in Nagaland. So this is from my side, and thank you so much. you so much, sir, Bankim sir, to give me a chance to talk about the festivals of the Nagaland. So this is from my side. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Narendra. Now we are very much lucky that we have got within us Dr. Nizo Puro, the professor from Nagaland University. So, sir, Mr. Nizo Puro, Dr. Nizo Puro, sir. So, if you are hearing me, uh, please come in the platform. Dr. Puro, sir. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Sir, please, now this is your turn. We are very much lucky, and within your like tight schedule, you have got a little bit time for us, for our students. It's our we are very much in a tight schedule that we cannot invite any other person because of this COVID-19. But it's really, we are very much lucky that you have joined. So, sir, my request to you is regarding the festival, whatever the festival you are seeing in Nagaland, just throw some light, what kind of sweet you are taking, how you're celebrating, and what people are doing out there, so that our students can know about it.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, thank you. I'm sorry I couldn't present to you any PowerPoint or any pictures to you, even though I have a documentary, but I didn't get time to really upload it. So I'm sorry. Maybe later on, if you give me a little more time, I can show you a documentary, maybe around 10 minutes documentary on the festivals and the land of Nagaland, which is done by the government of Nagaland in association with us. And so that would have given a better picture to all of you. However, I think we have to manage to just go ahead without the documentary. So in the short time, I think I just joined a little late, but Ban Kim and the other person were talking about Nagaland, the cuisine, the food, and some festivals and some important dress code, or the geographic area, the importance of Nagas, and where we are placed. I think this evening, if you have enough time, I would like to take questions from the students and then interact with them. Much has been spoken about Nagaland, and I think you can also see it and get informations via Google or net, and so you can get a lot of informations. Just like to introduce Nagas as very hospitable people, and also people who would love to interact, who would love to meet any group of people across the world. This is a land where tradition meets modernism. That's what we are told. And I don't know how much time do I have to speak on? Hello, can you hear me?
Sir, yes, sir. We have 15 minutes. I think you can take the maximum.
Okay, so I can.
If it suits you.
All right, fine.
Right, sir.
Yeah. So what I'm asked to brief a little bit about is about the festivals of Nagaland. First thing, I would like to re-emphasize that the entire festivals of Nagaland is showcased at one point of time that is called the Hornbill Festival, which is celebrated in Kisama village, 10 kilometers away from the state capital, which runs for 10 days nowadays. And so it has become a national and international festival where people come to get to see the different tribes and different people and different festivals celebrated across the state over the period of the whole year. And so I think that's what you can see. Even if you don't have time to spread and then see the festivals of Nagaland, you can come to Hornbill and then you can get a look at that. Well, I also would like to say that, Nagaland has been closely, or the Nagas have been closely associated with nature. And our resources and our livelihood is from nature itself. But we sustain our livelihood with nature for a very, very long time. And so nature is our friend, nature is a provider, and we live with nature. There were times where we had nature worship. There were times where we were headhunters. There were times where we looked for resources. Even today, resources from wild and natural resources. So we live on nature. all our festivals that we are talking about, and you have also highlighted 16 tribes, major tribes in Nagaland. We are basically agricultural people, agro-based people. The practice of agriculture is called the slash and burn, or it is also called jhum cultivation, JHUM, or slash and burn cultivation. This slash and burn cultivation is a way of cutting forests, burning it, cleaning it, sowing seeds of rice, different types of vegetables that you have already talked about, and then cultivating for a 1 year period, then leaving it as fallow land and shifting to another land, another piece of land in a rotation basis. Why I'm saying this is because whatever festivals or whatever taboos or genas that Nagas have, we are already, the calendar is being made according to our cultivation period. And so the festivals that you will see are either festivals celebrating or asking God for God's blessings just before sowing seeds, blessings of rain, blessings of good crop, blessings to protect the crop, blessings to resist diseases. And after finishing the cultivation and harvest is done, there's another festival for Thanksgiving. So we have basically two major festivals that based along the calendar of jhum cultivation. And so the practice of jhum is not just an agriculture in itself, but what I wanted to say is the practice of jhum itself is a calendar of events in the life of the rural Nagas or the Naga people. So throughout the year, you will see in different places that different festivals are being organized or celebrated. For example, let me just tell you, I don't know whether you will be, but I think you can get all this information in the net. And so just to let you know, different tribes have different festivals. In the month of February, Sekreni is celebrated by the Angami. In the first week of May, Moatsa festival is celebrated by the Aos. January, Sekreni is celebrated by the Chakesang. April, Tsukenya is celebrated by the Chakesang. So on, Changs, Bushu, Tsukum, Auliang by Konyak, Mingkut by Kuki, Tukuyimong by the Lotus, Mongyu by the Palm, Yemshe by Puchuri, Ngada by the Rengmas, Amongmong by the Sangtam, Tuluni by the Sumi, Metemnio by the Yumchungre, and then the Gagagadi by the Ziliang and Liangmai in the month of March, October. So spreading, I should say, if you look at the calendar of the events, spreading from January, February, March, April, May, July, then goes after that to October, November. So you see, except for the cultivation time, the rest of the time, either before or after, you have the celebrations, the festivals. So the festivals are celebrated in much pomp and gaiety by all the different tribes. Different tribes have their different cuisines. Different tribes have the different folk songs. Different tribes have the different cultural dresses, traditional dresses. They have their different types of folk dance. And also there are different traditional sports, traditional games. So each tribe has its own unique way of celebrating festivals. It's a time of gaiety and festival. And during this time, before Christianity came, there was no headhunting. It was a time of peace, so that everybody can celebrate. So different tribes have its own culture, cultural dresses. Now, let me tell you an example of cultural dresses by the Chagasang Nagas. The Chagasang Nagas have what they call as the headgear. Then they have the menfolk. They have their arm gear. Then they have the wrist, what they call band. Then they have the traditional shawls and so many other things. I don't think I'll have enough time to really explain on these traditional items. But each item has its own distinct unit, in the sense that there are some items only an adult can wear, there are some items only the youth can wear, or the small children can wear. So it's not for everybody. There are some shawls, traditional shawls, where only the rich and educated can wear, and those cannot be worn by the lower strata, sort of kind of a thing. So each tribe has its own different traditional songs, culture, and so on and so forth. So you can see 16 tribes, major tribes, plus smaller tribes that you will also see. So across the entire year, you have this kind of festivals going on, and in the festivals, where all the rich and poor, the entire village gathers, and they celebrate by cutting meat and then having it. Pork is one of the major delicacy. So pork is one item that is being used, whether it's dried pork, whether it is fresh pork, or trottles, or in whichever way, the chutney or tatu that we call it. And the beef is also there. Then the wild animals. Men folk go for hunting as a traditional village community hunting, and then bring back whatever games that they get, and then they share during the festival equally. And also community fishing takes place, so that they go to the river, and then they bring the fishes or whatever they get, and then celebrate together as a village or in the community. So during the celebration, time of celebration, it goes for few days celebration. So young people normally have what they call as the traditional institutes called the morongs. So each village, each community, each tribe has morongs, where the men folks separately are being trained, female are being trained separately. They are trained in terms of the passing on the oral traditions. The culture are being taught to them by the elder ones to the younger one. Folk songs are being taught, and whatever genas, whatever rituals, whatever regulations that needs to be done, they're being trained there. Even the young people are being trained how to safeguard or the village, or they're given skills to go to war, or even to go for headhunting or whatsoever in the olden days. So that's where they learn the traditional songs, folk songs, and they come together in the festival time and sing songs. Singing is not just singing what we like, but it's a little more of a poetry that you will also see, where the men folk will sing in praise of the female folk. The female folk will sing in praise of the male folk. So they sing one after the another, and then it's like a poetry. Their feelings, the emotions are being communicated through songs and during the time of festivals. Games are being played during the time of festivals by different age groups, and so that's a time where one proves one's agility, one's strength, one's skills. So that's a time where they come together. Elderly people sit around the fire, and normally they eat food, and then the different kinds of food that has been mentioned, and then they drink zuto, the beverage, and then they will normally drink the beverage. If you are a little rich in the village, you normally drink it from the horn of a mithun, and the rest they drink it from the bamboo cups that are being made, or the bamboo mugs that are being made. Plates and cups, everything is taken from nature. Bamboo cups and the plates, for wooden plates, are being used, and they celebrate with much gaiety. Eating is a big thing, and so a lot has been shared during eating time. Like you have already mentioned, one or two things I think I will also again re-emphasize, and I'll let you know, is that the different foods, the cuisine that you have, I think Ban Kim has mentioned,
I think there is again some connectivity issue with Dr. Nizopuro. There are a lot of like problems even now we are facing in IHM also. The same problem is there regarding the connectivity.
Yeah, now can you
Dr.
hear me now?
Nizo, sir. Yes, yes, we can hear. Carry on, sir.
You can hear, right? Okay. So Akuni is specially made by the Sumis. No doubt, different Nagas, different tribes also have. But the speciality that you will see is the Sumis that you will get. Zuto, the beverage that you're talking about, you'll get it better from the Angamis. Galo that you have talked about, you will see it, you will get it better in the Angamis and the Chakesangs. Anishi, which is a dried yam leaf, you will get it better by made by the Aos. So they have a different technique or the skill of making it. You know, and so like that Tutse, for example, you will get it with the Rengmas and the Angamis. So different tribes have their own specialities. All this, if you would like to taste it at one go, the Hornbill Festival it can be your destination that you can go and then taste at that point of time. So preparation is it's tedious and it's locally made, so it's not manufactured in a very big scale as such, but as per the local people's need and home requirement, they make it and then they use it. And so that's what they normally do with the special dishes. Dried pork with bamboo shoot. Bamboo shoot is used, that's a lifesaver. In fact, that's a livelihood sustainer. In the sense, bamboos are used as handicrafts. They're used for shelter, making so many other things. Apart from that, eating young bamboo shoots are being dried is one item. They ferment bamboo shoot. That's another item. Bamboo shoots are being used fresh. It's also another item. Then it's fermented for a short period of time is also another item, and so on. So a lot of items are being made from bamboo shoots. And bamboo shoot, normally you will see it made better and taste better by the Lotas, like that. So different tribes have their own specialities. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, carry on.
Okay,
Yes,
so
sir, it's okay.
yeah, so those are some of the things that you will see. One of the things that I wanted to make you aware of is a lot of fermentation that takes place in Nagaland. For example, you have fermented crabs, which is a specialty, fermented crabs. And you have insects and borers, hornets, bees, which are edible, so many other things. So fermentation is, akuni is a fermented thing, which gives a little pungent smell. With pork, it's just excellent, with the chili you mentioned, Naga chili bhut jalukia is basically an Assamese word. And so normally you get it even in Assam, and they have made it a little more popular. Bhut jalukia is an Assamese word, but we normally call it as the Naga king chili. And Naga king chili has its own different names in different tribes. And so with that, it is dried and it is even used as fresh, used as pickle, and so on, which, as you have all mentioned, is more spicier. The capsaicin is more than the Mexican chili. So a lot of happened during the preparations and so on. Well, a variety of food items are being brought during the festivals, like I already mentioned. So not only just the common ones that we eat, pork, beef, and so on, but you get a lot of wild snails is also a delicacy. The snails is one thing. We don't get the big lobsters and so on, but we do get prawns, and then different insects, then different water insects, and all those kind of things, different caterpillars even, that you will see as delicacies in Naga culture. So during the festivals, it's a time where there's no differentiation between rich and poor. It's a time where everybody participates, and it is a community feeling. It's a community time where everybody gets to showcase one's talents. Everybody gets to showcase one's ability, and everybody appreciates, and so on. Um, for young aspiring uh, male or a female, that's a time where you even showcase your beauty, showcase your handsomeness and your skills, even to attract one another. And it's a time where you get to see, one another, and then even maybe that may lead to marriage later on also. So these festivals are being celebrated across the different tribes in Nagaland. Well, there are so many things today, but I think I think for the PPT and others to show you at the moment. Otherwise, different tribes with different traditional intricacies that will interest you. Different they wear the cultural dresses they wear on, the traditional dresses they wear on. So it's not the same every day. Today they wear one thing which depicts one event of life, and tomorrow they may change into another dress, tradition wearing shawls, which can depict whether you have thrown a married feast in the village or not, how learned you are. So that's how they depict the traditional dresses and the costumes and cultures. Poetry is basically singing is a big thing in Nagaland, and so traditional folk songs in different tunes that you will see, different languages that you will see even in Nagaland. Traditionally, as said, we were all headhunters, and so as headhunters, we need to have a lot of equipments which are also traditional. It's not modern. We normally use spear and dows. So during the festival, these are also being showcased, the spears and dows. And there are war dances which commemorate the victory over your enemy, called the war dances. They are just pomp and gaiety, Thanksgiving kind of dances that you will see. There are young people performing sporty type of dances and games that they play. So those are some of the things that you will see. A lot of things that you will enjoy. Nothing is imported as such during these traditional festivals in terms of even the clothes or the things that we eat. Everything is generated from within ourselves and within our nature, what natural resources that is available. God has blessed Nagaland with such a beautiful nature, which can sustain, and therefore I think that is till today it's enough, and that's what we use to celebrate festivals. So we can think of Nagaland as one state, but I think students, what we can picture is in Nagaland there are about the diversity that you will see is about around 16 countries, where you get different flavor, different tastes, and different culture in a small state called Nagaland, which is bordering, as mentioned, Myanmar and the other states of Nagaland. And so I think I do have a lot of things to say, but if there are any questions, I take and interact with your students, and I think that's what I would like to introduce about festivals to you all. Thank you.
So thank you, Nizo sir. Now this is the open session before the students who are participating in this webinar. If you have got any question, you can put up before Dr. Nizo sir. So any question from the side of the participants? Anybody? You are free to ask anything. The first year's diploma food production batch. Okay. So I think no one is coming with a question.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please. Rishabh Tiwari, yes.
Yes, sir. Sir, what is the meaning of Naga?
Nizo sir, the question is for you. The Nagaland, this term Naga, do you have or do we have any specific meaning for it?
The term Nagas are given by the other people, actually. it's called, in other words, you will see that they are naked people. When the Britishers and the other people came to saw Nagas, normally, those days, without much clothes on, we were called Nagas. So that's become a general term that identifies or called Nagas only. So there is no, I don't think you'll really find a real meaning. Or see, if you're a historian and you're reading some books written by J.P. Mills and Hutton, they are called as the hill people, which normally referred to as Nagas. So, in brief, that's what I can tell you.
Okay. Anybody with any other query?
Yes, sir, I have one query. Sir,
Yes,
what
Mr.
is the
Yes.
sir? What is the specialty of Nagaland chilies?
Okay.
Specialty is, it is quite spicy, and then there are different varieties of chilies that you can get in Nagaland. The most popular and then the famous is the Naga King chili. Why it is popular and what is famous? Because it is very hot. It's hotter than the Mexican chili at one point of time. But now I'm told that I think it's ranked number 2 now in the world in terms of its capsaicin content or its hotness or spiciness. Yes.
Okay. So
Thank you, sir.
that is really the specialty of Naga chili, and we are very much surprised to know that that has got a place in the Guinness World Book, which is 400 times hotter than the normal chili. Any other question?
Yeah.
Anybody? Fine. From any of the staff members of IHM Gwalior? Any question? So I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Nizo Puro sir. This is the second time we are meeting on this virtual platform.
Welcome.
And I'm very much lucky also on behalf of IHM Gwalior that I did not think that this time, because of busy schedule, I will be able to have you. But it's your kind-heartedness that you have joined us. It's a great thing for us. Now this is the time for Mr. Narendra to invite any other person or any other staff member so that we can close the session fast.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Bankim sir. And I would like to thank you, Dr. Nijo sir, to join us and give you valuable time. And our staff, Bhatt
sorry
sir,
for-
so I'd like to invite
Hello.
Abhinav Bhatt to talk something about because he visited the place and he will share his experience as well. So, Bhatt sir.
Thank you. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Narendra. Thank you, Bankim sir. Thank you, Principal sir. And welcome, Nizo sir, on the platform of IHM Gwalior. Namaskar, sir. Thank you so much for joining us the session. It is a great privilege. I was watching the key from the starting till now, and you have created an impact. I think it's a great impact, and I think all first year and all diploma students mostly join us this session, and I think they definitely learn these kind of webinars which has been organized by IHM Gwalior always, and I feel very lucky. In the before COVID-19, I have visited these places called Kohima and Imphal. At Imphal and Kohima, we have spent 3 days mostly, 4 days in Kohima and 3 days in Imphal. And we have visited so many places, sir. I can tell you some places like Shri Govindji Temple in Imphal, Kamla in Imphal. In Kohima, we visited Kohima War Cemetery. Other places related to that surrounding Nagaland University, we visited small portion. We have visited. So it is a pleasure for us with a team of my students. We have visited in the month of March. Were there, and we successfully controlled and successfully learned. And not only we visited the places, we also learned their culture, demonstration, their food habits, their language things, their spoken of things, and local area, which you are talking about, the tribes. We have visited the tribes different. There are 16 tribes which are come in the Naga tribes called, as you are discussing also, Nizo sir. So it's a great privilege that you have connected with us, and it's a memory for us. In my mind, and my students also are exposed that time. I'm sure it will be continue in the base of student exchange program in the future also. We definitely want to visit these places more so that our student will get a benefit about that. From my side, I think it's a great pleasure to talk to you, sir. And thank you, Bankim sir. Thank you, Principal sir. And thank you, Mr. Narendra, to organize this kind of session. It's called Fest of Nagaland. The best food, art, culture, structure, language, and all are coming in one combination form. Thank you, all of you.
So thank you, Vatsa. Thank you so much for giving your the speechless word. That's you share your knowledge. That's when you visit in Nagaland. Thank you so much. And I would like to invite anyone else from our faculties, those who want to share something and those who want to speak some things. So session is open, so anyone can. I think Jodha sir, it's time to bind up the session.
Yes, we should wind up. It's already like we are off the time. So again, on behalf of ICM Gwalior, we congratulate everybody and we express our gratitude to Dr. Nizo sir. Thank you very much. So stay safe,
Thank you,
stay
sir.
happy. Sir, namaskar. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.